I can spend $20 on groceries and be good for 2 weeks as a single person.
I left America 6 months ago and my life is infinitely better. Let's talk about it. First things first, I've talked about this in other videos, but it cost me around $1,000 to leave the States, which is significantly less money than I ever anticipated. And I think it's a really important thing for everyone to be talking about, that it actually costs a lot less than you might think to leave the US. Since moving abroad, these are the things that have improved in my life. First and foremost, my physical health is infinitely better. Why? The food is better. The air quality is better. I'm happier. I'm less stressed out. Medicine and healthcare is way more affordable. Like, we're talking apples and oranges. People are nicer here because they are happier here. It is significantly easier to cultivate community in a place where people are trusting and loving and empathetic and kind. And I cannot stress this enough. My central nervous system is relaxed and calm for the first time in my life.
I think, depending on how much you eat, would be great for 2 weeks. Now, comparing that to the US, where you have to spend $100 or $200 a week per groceries, that is significantly high, especially on unhealthy foods. You're paying premium over the premium price for food that's not even good for you. Versus, when you're living here, you're paying for real untouched food, real fruits, exotic fruits, natural meats, just natural, simple ingredient foods. And every day I wake up, I feel recharged. I don't feel like death. Compared to what I used to eat in the US, compared to what I eat here now, I can eat cheeseburgers here in the Philippines. It tastes good. Real cheese, affordable real cheddar cheese, not processed cheese, not Kraft's cheese, but real cheese that costs just as much as Kraft's processed cheese. I can make cheeseburgers, I can make French fries, I can make all of the Americanized foods just being here. And guess what? The ingredients are simple. Compared to the US, when you need 30 different ingredients just to make bread, it only takes 4 ingredients to make bread. Especially if you make it homemade, flour, yeast, eggs, water, 4 ingredients. Now, when it comes to traveling, when it comes to public transportation and traveling, getting around is easy. If you're tired of one spot, you can go to another spot. You can traveling through little services like Grab or rideshare, motorbikes. It is very affordable to get from one side of the country to the other side of the country and just get a new view. Moving is easy. You don't have to have a car. You don't have to have insurance. You don't have to have all this unnecessary stuff just to be able to function in society. Everything is walking distance, and then sometimes you want to walk places because there's space to walk around as much as there's traffic. But if you go to some other areas, walking is free. Now, I want to talk about phone service. So my friend from New York has terrible service through the US, trying to use the towers here in the Philippines. But I want to tell you something that could save you a lot of money. I used to have Verizon. I used to pay $200 something a month for an iPhone and a plan, 5G plan, everything. When I moved here, they were gonna have me pay an extra $100 USD just to be able to use, mobile data here. Now, I want to tell you something. I'm already paying $200 something, maybe $250 a month. That would be $350 a month. That's almost rent. But if you don't want to pay that, you don't have to pay that. There are phone services that you can use where you can still do the 2-step verification, because I do it with my bank all the time. I keep my same American number, but guess how much it costs me to keep my American number? Compared to $350 USD I would have to pay, $5 USD. It costs me, actually with tax, $1 for tax, $6, 6 USD to be able to call, text, and use the internet. But here's the thing, you can pay for data, but I have not tested out using data out here. The carrier that I use, you can customize your plan. You can buy a phone from this carrier, the same way you can from AT&T, from Verizon. But I just have a simple plan of unlimited talk, text. Well, actually, since I don't call much, I just have 100 minutes, and then unlimited texting. But for unlimited talk, text, no data, it's just $9 a month. Now, here's the kicker. You need data. You can use another service called Airalo, which you can use data 25 gigs for $20 a month or cheaper. There's some plans that could give you better deals. But here is another thing. So living in the US versus living in the Philippines. You live in the US, you're out all the time working. You're always out. You're always using mobile data because you're away from home. But if you're living in the Philippines, you'll always be home. And since you'll always be home, you don't need mobile data as much. That's when you need Wi-Fi. And let me tell you about Wi-Fi. For just 100, for me, just 100 Mbps, it only costs me 6,000 pesos, which is 120 USD for 6 months. So with my American phone, can call, can text, can do anything and everything, can do verification with my bank. There's no issues. And it's all for a quarter of what I'd be paying for Verizon, AT&T, and any other mobile phone carrier in the US. So you have Wi-Fi that is very affordable. You have a way to keep your American number when you move abroad, so you don't have to worry about changing to Google Voice or anything. You can keep your American phone number for cheap. Even the cheapest plan is $6 a month. $6 a month. Still get to receive texts and everything. As long as you have Wi-Fi or some form of internet, you can do it. And you can go to places where there's free Wi-Fi. Free Wi-Fi is everywhere. Now, you have the breakdown of how you can keep things to a minimum without sacrificing a lot. Now, I use a carrier called Tello, and they are good. Customer service is great. The service is great. I never had any issues. Phone never drops when I'm calling. And even when I'm using mobile data, it's just great. You can even use it if you're in the US. If you're in the US right now and you don't like your phone bill, you can use Tello and maybe try out their data plan. You can port your number easily because it didn't take long for me to port my number. After that, my phone bill was just cheap. Now, you have to make sure your phone's fully paid for, of course, before you do that. But that's obvious. But my phone bill's cheap. Even when I had a fully paid phone, my monthly bill with Verizon was still expensive. Even if it was prepaid, still expensive. So I want to get down to the nitty-gritty of expats that are coming over here and going through the honeymoon stage. And then once they get done with the honeymoon stage, then reality starts to set in. This is from being burnt out or deprived of attention, deprived of respect, deprived of living decent, and being overwhelmed with all of this hospitality, being overwhelmed with being able to be free and having zero worries. I can understand when you've been doing nothing but just racing for so many years, and you finally get somewhere and you can breathe, it can be a little bit too much, but it takes time to adjust. So you can't rush it. But I don't know what to say for the expats that do come here and they lose their minds and they act crazy and they cause problems and trouble. But I will say that it takes time to adjust. And I wouldn't visit one place and stay too long. Just try some other places, some other islands. Just find a place that you actually think you would like to stay long term. And then try to adapt. Try to minimize all of the things you possibly can, cost-wise, and then you will feel better. Because there's one thing that's easy to do more than anything here. It's easy to spend money. Even if you have a lot of it, it's easy to spend all of it. I wanted to touch base earlier about how you can make less money here and still save more. So you can make less money here than you did in the US, and you can still save money. Because guess what? There's always workarounds, especially when it comes to groceries. If you're a person that eats out all the time, hey, you can just cook at home. And guess what? There's always so many of the cheapest options when it comes to food here. If you use rice as your staple food, you're golden. Rice will last you for a month or 2 months if you're single. Milk, eggs, bread, extremely cheap. Extremely cheap. Meat, chicken, beef, hamburger meat, extremely cheap. You could have a whole family barbecue for what you would pay in a utility bill. Not really. It would take you probably 2 months of utility bills to pay for a whole family barbecue. But you get the message. You get the point. Overall, a lot of Americans will never truly understand what they can get out of life by simply leaving this bubble, because America's not really America's not really a country, but more like a business entity. And yes, you can be in America, you can make a lot of money, but when it comes to that high competition and everything being advertised, everything's costs, basically you have to spend money to make money, and it's honestly can be draining. But you can make it. I made it. I started my business in the oil and gas industry, and that was my ticket out. Some people have other ways. People made it out with YouTube. Some people made it out with trading the market. Some people made it out with starting an online business. There's so many ways. You can make a lot of money in the US, but only a select few can. And that's the problem. But as soon as you get the chance, when you get an opportunity, a small smig of light, a small chance to make a lot of money, that's your ticket. That's your ticket. Because guess what? When you start making a lot of money, you're going to have to spend a lot of money, especially if you don't know how to manage it. But if you make a lot of money, but you decide to go somewhere else to stretch that money, guess what? You actually win, you gain. Living in America, making a lot of money, you're giving it right back to the system. But actually, I want to say this. Living in America, making a lot of money, you're bleeding rapidly. Making a lot of money out of America and then going abroad, you're bleeding slowly. So it's just a strategic thing. Some people do not think strategic when it comes to finances. People think, oh, you're just a coward. You're just running away because you didn't make it. Those are small-minded people. But people who actually see the vision and they want a good quality of life, they want to see beautiful greenery. They want to see beautiful people. They want to see nice people. They want to breathe clean air. They want to be away from violence, away from political violence, away from that, our toxic processed food. They want to be away from fake food. They want real food. They want to be nourished. They want to get a good night's sleep. They want to wake up every morning excited about excited about what they want to do the next day, excited about where they want to go, who they want to see. For me, I've gotten used to everything, so I don't get excited anymore, but I am grateful that I get to wake up every morning and just do what I want to do what I need to do without any obligations. I don't need to get out in traffic, get stressed, worry about getting a wreck, because if I get a wreck, guess what? I'm going to be paying high insurance for the rest of my life. And then some other mess, especially when it comes to insurance. But anyway, it is a relaxing feeling to just wake up and say, hey, I'm going to go get coffee. Hey, I'm going to go walk here and grab a sandwich. Hey, I'm going to go walk here and meet a friend. Hey, I'm going to go walk here and go shopping. I'm just going to go for a walk. Or you can just wake up and just chill, because you have no obligation. You have no set schedule. Now, if you work online, of course you have a schedule. But if you are just, you can live on savings, of course, for a long time, but you need to find a way to make money online. And I wouldn't advise moving abroad if you don't have a source of income to make online. So you got to have your finances straight first before you even consider. Now, you can take a risk and take a lot of money and then move abroad and then figure out. I've seen a lot of people do that. You can take what you have for savings. I would say 20 grand was going to buy you plenty of time especially if you're the person that goes through the honeymoon phase and you want to go to the bars all the time. But I would say a good buffer, 5,000 USD to 10,000 USD would be enough for you to get settled in and to just live minimal while you figure out a source of income. Because it could take you a year to get something rolling, or it could take you 6 months to get something rolling. But that's all I want to say, folks. If you like the video, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.